eBay dropshipping is one of the best ways to start making money online. I've personally made over £5,000 in the last 90 days using eBay dropshipping with around a 35% profit margin, so around £500 to £600 per month in profit. So it's not going to make you a millionaire, but it is a great way to start making money online, and then you can use that money to invest in other businesses. And the best thing about eBay dropshipping is that you can get started for under $100. You don't need to know how to make a website. You don't need to know how to run ads, you don't need to know how to create content, and you don't need a massive amount of money for marketing. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can get started with eBay dropshipping completely step by step. So I'm going to show you how to create your eBay business account, what types of products you can dropship on eBay, how to connect your eBay business account to various dropshipping suppliers and import products to your eBay account, and how to fulfill your eBay dropshipping orders. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, I'm just going to cover whether you're actually allowed to dropship on eBay. So if you have a look at eBay's customer service page on dropshipping, it does say that dropshipping where you fulfill orders directly from a wholesale supplier is allowed on eBay. However, listing an item on eBay and then purchasing the item from another retailer or marketplace that ships directly to your customer is not allowed. And basically what they mean by this is if you use suppliers such as CJ Dropshipping or Alibaba, which are intended for businesses, then this is okay. However, if you list an item that's intended directly for customers, such as listing an item from Nike.com where customers can purchase a product directly, then this is not okay. So it's kind of a loophole, but basically as long as you use third-party suppliers like CJ Dropshipping or Alibaba that are intended for businesses, then it's totally okay to dropship on eBay. So now that we've covered that, we are going to get you set up with an eBay business account. So what you need to do is just go over to Google and just type in eBay and then go over to the home page, because it's going to depend on the country that you are in. So for me, I'm over at ebay.co.uk, and that's because I'm based in the UK. But like I say, if you just go over to Google and type in eBay, it will bring you to the eBay version for your location. Now from here in the top left hand corner, you can click on sign in. Once you click on sign in, you are then going to click on create an account, and then it's going to ask you if you want to create a personal account or a business account. Now we're going to create a business account, and the reason for that is there's a little bit of a difference. So a personal account is basically if you're just selling some old items in your house, but if you intend to constantly list items on eBay and you are selling with the intention to be making profit, then you do need a business account. Now don't worry, you don't need to register a business or anything like that at this point. You can just sign up for a business account. So you're going to enter in your business name, business email address, password, and choose your location. Now just remember, for your business name, customers will be able to see this from the name of your store, so don't choose anything weird that might make them lose trust in your eBay store. Just pick something completely normal. You can even just pick something that's related to your own name. So once you have entered that information in, don't tick this box where it says I only want to buy, and then we are going to click on register. eBay will then send you a security code to your email address so that you can verify your email address. So just go and get that security code and just enter it in here and then click on verify. It will then ask you to choose a username. So again, this is going to be the username that people actually see on your store. I recommend just to keep it the same as your business name. However, if it's not available, then you can go and add some numbers or things like that, or you can add the year, something like that. But like I say, just make sure it's kind of normal so that people don't think that your store is untrustworthy. So once you've entered that in, you can click on continue. It will then ask you if your eBay business is a legal entity or if you just manage the business as a sole trader. As you're just starting out, I'm going to assume that you're just a sole trader. So we're just going to click on no and click on continue. You will then be prompted to enter in some details about yourself. So you're going to be entering in your name, your address, your phone number, and your date of birth, and then just click on continue. You will then be asked to verify your phone number. So it will say text me or call me. I'm going to click on text me, and then eBay will text you a security code. You can simply enter that in and click on continue. You will then be asked to enter in your business address. Again, you can just use your home address for this and then just click on continue. You will then be asked to link your bank account to your eBay account. And this is so that you can pay for your listings, but you can also get paid when customers purchase some of your items. So click on log into my bank, and then you can choose the bank that you bank with. Depending on the location you're in, it will show different types of banks. So for me, of course, it's going to be showing a lot of UK banks. So I'm going to go and choose the bank that I use. And then it's going to ask you to log in to your online banking so you can connect your eBay account to your bank account. Once you have logged into your online banking and you have chosen your bank account that you want to link to your eBay account, it will just say confirm bank details, and you can click on continue. You will then be given a chance to review all of the information you've entered, and if you have entered any of it incorrectly, you can go and edit it, but if all of it's correct, then you can click on confirm. Once you click on this, you will then be brought to your eBay store where you can start creating some listings. Now from here, you might see sign up for a shop subscription. Now I'm just going to show you these because basically if you sign up for a shop subscription, it allows you some extra benefits. Now if you've just started, I recommend you just go for no shop, pay as you go. List some items, see if you can start making some sales, and you can always upgrade your account if you want to. So you can see you've got basic, featured, anchor. So basically these have different types of features, like I said. So if you go for the basic, you can see what you can basically do is you pay a fixed monthly amount, and this allows you to list a certain amount of products. So depending on how many products you're listing and how many products you're selling, eventually it can work out cheaper to have an eBay shop. But as I mentioned, when you are just starting out, you can just start with no shop and just list as pay as you go. And once you start seeing some profit coming in, then you can always upgrade your plan to have one of these subscription accounts. So you'll see in here, you can have a link to your eBay shop. It allows you to have cheaper listing fees. It allows you to list more items and things like that. So this is something just to keep in mind once you start growing your eBay dropshipping business. But for now, from the actual eBay dashboard, in the top right hand corner, you will see sell. So just right click this and open this in a new tab, and then you will be brought over to the seller hub. And from here, you can actually start creating some listings. Now, we're not going to list any products just yet because we need to connect our eBay business account to some of the third-party dropshipping suppliers. But for the next part of the tutorial, I do just want to go over what type of products can you actually sell. Now, we're going to be looking at two different types of suppliers, which is going to be CJ Dropshipping and Alibaba.com Dropshipping. But there are a number of different suppliers that you can use, and I'll go through some other suppliers later on in the tutorial. But like I say, I just want to go over the process of having a look at some products that you could potentially sell. So let's go over to CJ Dropshipping. So CJ Dropshipping is basically a dropshipping supplier, and they sell thousands of different products in all types of categories, and they have really fast shipping, and that's why they're one of the best suppliers that you can use, and I recommend them over Alibaba.com. And the reason for that is because you can see on the right hand side here, they have different shipping methods, and you can get products to customers between 3 to 7 days. So that's pretty fast. However, if you do use Alibaba, sometimes it can take a little bit longer, and customers get a little bit annoyed. They might start sending you some emails asking where their products are. You might get a lower star rating on eBay, which I will go over in a moment. So I recommend to start using CJ Dropshipping. Now, when it comes to dropshipping products on eBay, eBay is basically a search engine. So people are always typing things into eBay that they're looking for. And that's why it's really great, because it actually helps you to market the products you're selling, because it is a search engine. So somebody might search for something on eBay, and given that you've given it a good title and a description, your product might come up. So if we have a look at CJ Dropshipping, you can see they have products in loads of different categories. Now, from my experience dropshipping on eBay, the best category that I've found so far is actually clothing. So this could be women's clothing or men's clothing. Clothing is very popular. And I know what you're thinking, well, what about returns? Well, we'll talk about returns later on. But for any business that you run, it doesn't matter what business that you run, there are always going to be problems with returns and refunds. So just think of that as that's actually part of the business. It doesn't matter what product you sell, there's always going to be some defects with certain types of products. There's always going to be people asking for refunds. So just think of it like that. And that way, this will help you to be able to not put too much pressure on finding the right product and trying to minimize how many returns and things you get. Of course, there are always going to be maybe slightly higher returns with clothing, but that means you also get more sales as well. So it kind of counteracts it. But like I said, you can pretty much sell any type of product. It's going to depend on the country as well. So I'm based in the UK. People buy a lot of clothes in the UK. They love clothes. We have a lot of seasons here in the UK. So we have very cold winters. So people buy a lot of winter clothes when it's winter. And we have kind of mediumly hot summers, even though the summers are quite short. But people really love summer here. So once again, they buy a lot of clothes in the summer as well. But there's loads of different categories. Another one is consumer electronics. So you can see on CJ Dropshipping, we have phone accessories, we have consumer electronics, computer and office. So those are all sort of kind of similar, but consumer electronics works really well on eBay. Again, there are always going to be people that want to refund it if the product's broken and things like that. Now, like I mentioned, I will go over refunds at the end briefly. Now, there are eBay dropshipping product research tools that you can use, such as one called Shelf Trend. But when you're just starting out, I don't recommend that you need to really start using these. Just start listing some products that you think might work. And the best way you can do this is just to think about the types of products that you search for. So I was often buying clothes from eBay, men's clothes, and searching for things. So the things that I was searching for, and I also like to buy consumer electronics as well. So I was searching for those things. So I just started listing those products. So just keep it simple when you're first starting. Think about the types of products that you buy and you sort of know a little bit about, and start having a look at those on eBay. If you can see them on eBay, then you can start trying to find some products on CJ Dropshipping and on Alibaba that are similar, and you can start listing those. So I'm going to give you a few examples here. So we'll start with Alibaba first, just to give you some ideas, and then I'll show you some CJ ones as well. So if we have a look, we can see this is consumer electronics. This is a portable printer. And the reason I bring this up again is because I have one of these. So because I run e-commerce stores, I needed one of these to print my labels. So I was searching for one of these on eBay. So that's why this product just popped into my mind. So you can see here on Alibaba.com, you can get this product for $75. So $75 is around £62. I've just gone and searched for these portable printers. So you can see thermal label printer on eBay. The cheapest one here is £60, but this one is really small. So this is kind of not a very good one, you could say. But if we have a look at the rest, you can see £116. £116. Now I know it says from 38, but that's just for the printing rolls. If you actually want the printer itself, it's going to cost you £116. So 116. This one's 90. This one's 90. This one's 70. 84. So you get the idea, £90. But we're buying it for 62. So even if you were to sell this product for £75, you would still make a £13 profit. Now, if we actually go and have a look, I think I've found one that's very similar. It might be the exact one, and you can see they're selling it for £85. So they're getting it for 62. They're selling it for £85, so they're making a good £23 profit. And like I said, I just came up with this product idea because it was something I was searching for myself, and I purchased one of these from eBay. And that's how you can come up with ideas when you're first initially listing some products on eBay. I'll show you in a moment how you can have a look at some other products that you can sell as well. Let's have a look at another product. So this is a clothing product. Like I mentioned, men's clothing works really well, but it works really well if you can get into particular niches as well. So this niche is the African men's clothes, so African style clothes. So this is a particular niche that people might be searching for on eBay. So they might be typing in African men's clothing. So you can see this one is going to cost you $27.50. I've just typed that in, $27.50 US to Great British pounds, which is £23, just under £23. Now on eBay, I've just typed in African men's clothes. You can see some of these ones are coming up a little bit cheaper, but that's because this one is pre-owned. But as we scroll, if we scroll down, you can see we've got this one here, almost £28. You can see this one here, £40, £140. So they're kind of varying in prices. But if we have a look at this one, which I think is sort of the closest one that I could find in terms of the look towards this one that's kind of similar, you can see this one is £41. So it's being sold for £41, and you can get it for £23. So again, you're going to make around £17-18 profit on that. So that's pretty decent. So now I'll show you some from CJ Dropshipping. So you can see we've got this men's jacket here. And again, this is something that I was searching for. Men's plaid coat, or a men's pea coat for winter, or men's winter coats. So like I said, it gets pretty cold here in the UK. So when you are searching for things yourself, this can give you some ideas for products that you can list. So you can see this product being shipped to the UK, if we actually change this, let's change this to 9 days. So it's going to get there between 4 and 9 days, which is pretty fast, by the way. It's going to cost you $26.25. So I've just typed in $26, £22, that is roughly. So now I've gone over to eBay, I've typed in plaid pea coat, and we can see here we've got £40, we've got £50. So we're going to have a look at some ones that are kind of similar. £30 for this one. You can see this one's £30, this one's 65. And if we have a look, this is basically the exact product. So I know this one, the pattern is slightly different, but you can see it's pretty much the same product, just the pattern's a little bit different. So like I mentioned, we're getting this product for £22. And they're selling it for £47. So that is a £25 profit. You can see they've got 217 star rating. I've actually opened up their store. You can see they've sold 1,500 items. So they're doing pretty well. So like I said, that's just an idea. That again, they're making £25 profit and they've sold 1,500 items. So that's a pretty decent amount of profit that they've probably made so far. Now, to get some more ideas, this is what you can do is, so once you find a product that you've seen on CJ Dropshipping or on Alibaba or on any of these suppliers, you can go and search for it. And then what you can do is you can go and open up the seller's store. And this will give you some more ideas of products that they might be dropshipping. So you can see they're basically dropshipping a lot of clothes, men's and women clothes. And these are probably all dropshipped from suppliers such as CJ Dropshipping and Alibaba. So this will give you some more ideas of products that you can list as well, just by having a look at other stores and what other eBay stores are selling. So we're just going to go through one more. So if we go over to CJ, this is a really cool jacket. I actually really like this. So you can see again, United Kingdom, shipped between 4 to 9 days. Again, pretty quick delivery times. It's going to cost you $26 for this aviator jacket. $26 is around £23, let's call it. And then I've just typed in men's aviator jacket, and you can see some of these are a bit more expensive because they're real leather. So you can see they're all sort of verging around £100. But the ones that aren't real leather, if we have a scroll down, you can see we've got £40 here, £85 here. This one's a bit cheaper, but this doesn't actually look as nice. But I have found the exact product. So you can see here is the exact product when I was scrolling, and they are selling it for £43. So if we just pick a size and we pick brown, let's say for example, you can see they're selling it for £43. So they're getting the product for 23 and they're selling it for 43. So they're making £20 profit on each of these products that they sell. Again, I have just opened up their store. You can see they've sold 43,000 items. Imagine, so they're making £20 profit times 43,000. I mean, maybe they're not making £20 profit on every item, but that's still a very good amount of sales. And again, then you can have a look at what they're actually selling. So you can see they're not even selling that many clothes. They're selling all different types of items. But again, most likely 90% of these are being dropshipped from suppliers similar to CJ Dropshipping or Alibaba.com as well. So those are how you can come up with some ideas. Just think about what you purchase, what you would look for on eBay. Go and have a look at them on CJ Dropshipping. So you can just come over to the CJ Dropshipping homepage and you can go and search into any of their categories. You can do the same on dropshipping.alibaba.com as well. So you can just search in the search bar for different products. You can also go and search different categories down the bottom here, you can see. So again, you can go and do that on both of those suppliers. Think about the products that you would be purchasing, go and search for those. And then if you find some stores, you can go and have a look at those stores and what they're selling to get some more ideas of products that you can list. So now I've briefly gone over how you can come up with some product ideas that you can start listing. The next thing we are going to do is create a CJ Dropshipping account, and then we're going to connect our CJ Dropshipping account to our eBay business account so we can start importing products from CJ Dropshipping directly to our eBay store and start selling them. So in order to do this, we are just going to click on register. There will be a link in the description to CJ Dropshipping. So if you use that link from here, you can then click on register. So just register for a CJ Dropshipping account, enter in your email address, choose a password. It is completely free, and then just click on next. You then need to choose a username, enter in your first and last name, enter in your phone number, and then just click on confirm. It will then say which platform are you running your store on. We're going to choose eBay. Then it's going to scroll down and say how many orders are you processing. Just say I'm just starting my business. Then it's going to ask you what categories you want to choose. Don't worry too much about this if you're not sure yet. Just choose a few ones that maybe you're thinking about. So we'll go for consumer electronics and men's clothing, and then we're going to click on submit. You will then be brought back to the CJ Dropshipping homepage. From here, you are going to click on My CJ. You will then be asked to verify your email address. So just click on verify and then click on send code, and then just head over to your emails, get that verification code, paste it in, and then you're going to click on verify. If you can't find the code right away, you can just refresh this page and then just click on send again, and also make sure to check your junk mail. So I'm just going to click on verify, and then it should say verification succeeded, so you can just click on confirm. So now that you have verified your CJ Dropshipping account, on the left hand side you can scroll down and you will see store authorization. So click on this, and then we are going to choose eBay. And from here you are going to click on add store. You will then be asked to complete the following steps. So it's going to say log into your eBay account, click on my eBay to get your store name, input the name above and click on authorize. So just head over to your eBay account, click on my eBay in the top right hand corner, and then you will see your store name just here. So just up the top on the left, we're just going to copy this, head back to CJ Dropshipping, paste it in here, and then you are going to click on authorize. It will then bring you over to eBay, where you need to log into your eBay account again just to authorize that connection with CJ Dropshipping. And then it's going to say review and grant application access. So you want to give CJ Dropshipping access to your eBay account. So you're just going to click on agree and continue. You will then be brought back to CJ Dropshipping, and it should say authorization success. So from here you can start listing products from CJ Dropshipping straight to your eBay account. So what we are going to do is we are actually going to go and find one of those products that I showed you earlier, and we are going to go and list one of these. So we are going to start with this aviator jacket that I showed you earlier. So in order to list a product from CJ Dropshipping to eBay, you can just scroll down on the product and you can click on list. Now you can list the item directly from here. However, if you do want to edit it in a bit more detail, you can click on edit before listing, which is what we're going to do. From here, you should be brought over to a page that looks like this. Now you should see your eBay store name up the top, and you will see listing site. So for me, it's listing it straight to the UK site. You will see the different categories. So it's already chosen the categories for me. So it's got clothing, shoes, accessories, men's formal occasion, and it's got tuxedos and formal jackets. You can go and change this if you don't think it's appropriate. So you can click on reselect, and from here you can reselect the category. So I'm going to go for clothing, shoes and accessories. Then you can go for men's or whatever the product is. Then you can go into that further. So I'm going to go for men's clothing, and then you can narrow that down further. So I've just gone for coats, jackets and vests. Then you will see the product itself. So you can see here it's got winter jacket, men's military, blah, 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 blah. It's got all of these different keywords. Now, I don't recommend to stack too many keywords into your listing, so into your actual title. So I'm just going to go and list this with a different title. So I've just gone for men's brown stylish leather aviator bomber jacket, slim fit. Now I've actually just taken this from the other listing, so I've just looked at some of the keywords that they're using, and I've just rearranged and changed some of them. So you can see they've got camel, I've just changed it to brown, and I've just taken out some of the other keywords that I don't think are necessary. So you can just go and do the same thing. So you can just go and enter in. Make sure you've got a few keywords in there that people might be searching for. So for example, men's brown aviator jacket, slim fit, etc, etc. So you can just go and enter that in, but just keep it simple. Don't overthink it too much. Then you can come into the description. So with the description, you can keep it pretty much similar to what CJ Dropshipping already have in the description. Again, if you go and have a look at one of your competitors and what they're doing, so let's go and have a look at this description here. You can see it's basically the same as what CJ Dropshipping have recommended. So you can pretty much leave it the same. Again, just keep it simple when you're first starting out. Don't overthink things too much, because that might actually put you off wanting to list more products. And with eBay Dropshipping, it can be a bit of a numbers game. So the more products you have listed, of course, the more likely it is to get more sales. So just try to keep it simple and make it easier to list more products. So just don't overthink it too much. So now we're going to move on to the images. So you see we've got all the images here. So we're just going to keep all of these. You can then go and choose your variants. So you can see you got all of the variants. You can go and change the names if you want to. So instead of having coffee, you could go and change it to brown. You could go and change it to camel, whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it as the same. But like I say, you can go and change these. So you can see if it's got wine red, maybe you just want to have red. So all you would do is just come into here and you can just change it like that. But I'm going to leave it as wine red. You can see you've got all of the sizes. Then you do have the shipment. So you can see because I'm listing this to the UK site, I want my orders to ship to the UK as well. So here I can go and choose the United Kingdom or whatever country you plan to ship your products to. You can see it's shipping from the China warehouse, and then you can go and choose the delivery method. So I'm going to choose the fastest, which is 4 to 9 days. I'm going to go and tick this. Then we can go back to variants and we can go and choose our listing price. So if you scroll across, you can see the RRP, the recommended retail price. So you can see the total dropshipping price is going to be $26.27. So I can go and list it for the price that I want to list it for. So if you just see up on the left here, if you enter in your price in here that you want to sell it for, this will go and apply that to all of the listings. So if you just scroll across, you just need to hit this top tick button, hit this top tick box. It will say 32 variants selected or however many variants there are for your particular product. Then in bulk revise, you can go and enter in the price that you want to sell it for, hit OK, and it will apply that to all of the different variants. Now if you just go into others, now filling in this section correctly is really important, so make sure you pay attention, especially when it comes to the shipping methods on eBay, because if you don't fill this in correctly, you could get your eBay account banned permanently. So firstly, it's going to have payment methods. I recommend to leave it as managed payments, and as you can see underneath it says eBay managed payments is suggested or product listings may fail. So you can choose PayPal, but I recommend to go for managed payments, and that basically just means it's going to use the bank account that you connected earlier on in the video. Now for shipping methods on eBay, do not leave it as freight courier whatever you do, because when somebody purchases from you on eBay, if you leave it as freight courier, basically it's going to tell the customer that they can't pay right away and they need to contact the seller, which is you, to organize the freight, and that is a complete headache. And also if you choose the wrong freight, then you can actually get your account banned. So what I recommend to do is choose a freight courier that is most closely linked to your country or that is used quite frequently in your country. So in the UK, we use DHL a lot, we use FedEx a lot, and we use Royal Mail a lot. So I'm going to be choosing one of these. So whatever you do, just make sure you don't choose any of these that say from GC, because that means from ground China. And again, eBay can ban your account because they just try to discourage people from dropshipping from China a lot of times, and they ban a lot of accounts. So do not choose anything that says from GC, because this stands for ground China. And like I say, this can cause some issues. So I'm just going to go for flat DHL like this. Then you can go and choose some of the other sections. Again, this is really important because this helps your listing to show up when people actually search for your product. So you can go and choose the size. I'm just going to go for medium, and the reason I go for that is because there's going to be more people searching for medium and large rather than 3 times XS or 3 times XL. People are not really going to be searching for these sizes, so go for something between small, medium and large. I'm going to go for medium. Then you've got the type, so this will depend on the product. Mine's a coat. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go for jackets. Then you've got the style, so you can choose the different style of jacket or whatever the product is. I'm going to go for bomber jackets. Then you have the material. So all of these will be different depending on the product that you are listing. Of course, for a clothing product, it's mostly clothing related categories. So I'm going to go for faux leather. Then you've got the color. We'll just go for black. Then you've got the department. Once you have filled all of this out, like I say, make sure to pay particular attention to the shipping methods. Then you can simply click on list it now. Now you can see when I click on list it now, it is saying please enter the quantity. So that is something that I did forget to mention. So if we go over the variants, you will see the listing quantity. So you can go and enter in the listing quantity of each variant. Now I don't recommend to enter in a listing quantity that's too high, and that is because it makes it easier to sell when the quantity is low. So if we come back to this particular product, you can see that it's got 3 available, and this basically just tells the customer that it's going to sell out soon, so that means they're more likely to purchase. So when you come into the listing quantity, I'm just going to go and enter in, let's say 5. So we can enter in 5 for each of these different variants, And then once you have entered that in for each of the variants, and then I'm just going to click on list it now. So like I said, I have entered in the listing quantity, and now you can click on list it now. It will then say please wait, as this takes a few minutes, so just wait for it to actually finalize listing your product. It will then say listed successfully, and the product has been listed to your store, and then you can click on view in your store. So now we can see this product has been listed to the store. We can see it's ready. If we come down to the description, you can see we have the description here with all of the images. So this is basically live on eBay now, so people can come in here, they can go and choose the color, they can go and choose the size, and they can actually go and purchase the product. So one thing that I do want to mention next is you will see under seller information that each seller has a score. So if we go back to some of these other stores, if we go to the top, you can see that this person has a 97% feedback score, and you can see that they've got 217 stars. Same with this store here. If we scroll back, 97% positive feedback, and we can see on this store that they've got over 5,000 stars, which is really great. Now you're going to want to build this up for your own eBay store, because this actually helps you get more customers. Because when somebody comes over to your eBay store and they see 0, sometimes that can be a little bit of a red flag for them, and it can make them lose trust in your eBay store. So how can you actually build this up? Well, the best way that you can do this is by undercutting everybody else and selling your products for a lot cheaper than them, because then people will buy your products just simply because they're cheaper. And then once you have built up your feedback score, then what you can do is you can start listing the products for more. So for example, if we was to go back to this product, you could list it again. And what I recommend doing is for the first sort of month, when you first start making some sales, just list your products from CJ Dropshipping on eBay for maybe $1 or £1 more than you're buying them for. So let's go over to another product and I'll show you what I mean. So let's just say I wanted to list this product. Again, I can click on list, and I can click on edit before listing. And once you have chosen the product categories, entered in the product title, the description, chosen the images and all of that, when you come over to the variants, if you go and choose to bulk edit the price, what you can do is you can see the total dropshipping price. So what I can do is I could just go and sell this now for $24.99 and hit OK. So that way I'm literally only making 80 cents profit, let's say. But when I start to build up more sales, because I'm selling this for much cheaper than all of my competitors, this helps me build up the feedback score. And once you've got your feedback score to a decent level, let's say 20, 30 stars and to around 97, 98% on the actual feedback score, once you have built that up a little bit, then you can start selling your products for more profit. So what I recommend in the beginning, when you first start your eBay store, list all of your items just for a tiny little bit of profit, enough to cover the listing fees. And once you have built up your feedback score and you have got some stars and feedback next to your store name, then you can start listing your products for actual profit. Like I say, it might take you a month to sort of build this up and make some sales, but this is really going to help you a lot more in the long run. So now that I have covered how to connect CJ Dropshipping and start listing products from CJ Dropshipping to your eBay account, and also covered a little bit about how to improve your feedback score for your eBay account, I do just want to briefly mention that you can use dropshipping.alibaba.com to do the same thing. I do have a full tutorial on dropshipping.alibaba.com, so go and check out that tutorial if you want to learn how to set this up for your eBay store. However, with eBay, you can only be based in the US to connect your dropshipping.alibaba.com. So if you're based outside of the US, you cannot connect an eBay account. So you can see from my dropshipping.alibaba.com dashboard, all you need to do is come down to my store and click on add store for eBay. You will see that it says only seller accounts for US sites are available. So you can try and use a VPN if you do want to, if you're based outside of the US, to connect your store. However, if they do find out, then they will probably ban your account. So just bear that in mind. So like I said, go and check out that full tutorial, because it basically works the same way as I just showed you with CJ Dropshipping. Once you click on add store, it will bring you to the next step where you just need to approve that you're connecting your Alibaba dropshipping account to your eBay account, and then you can just list products. Like I say, I have a full tutorial on how to list products from dropshipping.alibaba.com to another store. So go and check out that tutorial. Now, the reason I'm not going to go over that completely in this tutorial is because I do recommend using CJ Dropshipping for eBay, and that is simply just because the shipping time times are so much faster. So you can see for the UK and for the US, the shipping times are between 4 to 9 days, and mostly for a lot of Europe as well, you can find 4 to 9 day shipping. However, with Alibaba, it does take a little bit longer, can be up between 3 to 4 weeks for some products, and for eBay that can be a little bit off-putting for some customers. So I recommend to go with CJ Dropshipping. However, if you do want to have a bit more of variety when you are listing your products, you can go and check out alibaba.com as well. So now that I've briefly shown you how to use dropshipping.alibaba.com as a supplier for your eBay dropshipping business, the next thing I want to show you is how you can fulfill an order. So when an order comes through, you'll go to My eBay, and then under your dashboard, you will see awaiting dispatch. So just go into orders, and then down the left-hand side, you will see awaiting payment and awaiting dispatch. So if the customer hasn't paid for it, which generally they should pay for it straight away, if they haven't, it will go into awaiting payment. But generally most customers will pay for it straight away, so it will go into awaiting dispatch. So you will see it in here. So depending on the supplier, we're going to go through using CJ Dropshipping. So if you use CJ Dropshipping as your supplier, you're going to go into your CJ Dropshipping dashboard. On the left-hand side, you will see orders and you'll see imported orders. So once you open up this tab, you'll see imported orders. So just click on this, and then up the right here, you will see sync store orders. So you are going to click on sync store orders, and then from here, you are going to choose your eBay store. And then it's going to say sync by, you can choose sync by time, and then you can go and choose certain dates that you want to sync orders by. So I'm going to go from yesterday, let's say, to today, and then we can click on sync now. So then all of your orders will be synced. So it should say synced successfully, and it will show you the number of orders that have been synced from your eBay store. So then you can just click on OK. So once you have synced your orders from your eBay store, then you can come in and choose the shipping type that you want to choose for each of the orders. So for example, you might have 10 orders, 20 orders in here, and you can go and choose the shipping type for each of them. Generally, most of your orders will be coming from the same country. So for me, for example, most of my orders will be coming from the UK. So I've already got, if I click on select here to select the shipping type, I've already got this CJ Packet Fast Ordinary selected as the default. And most of the time I'll be using that. So I can just leave all of my orders with the default shipping. However, if you want to, you can go and change the shipping to a different type of shipping. If you want it to get there a bit faster, or if you want it to get there a bit slower and pay a little bit less, it's up to you. However, it will go and choose automatically the shipping type that you chose when you actually listed the product earlier on. Then all you have to do, if you want to go and fulfill multiple orders at once, you can click on this little tick box in the left here, and it will go and select all of the orders. So you can see I've just got one practice order here right now, so it's just selected that one order. Then all you're going to do is click on add to cart, and it will add all of those orders to the carts, and it will have each of the individual customers' shipping addresses. So when you click on add to cart, your orders will then be added to the cart. So then on the left hand side again, you'll see this tab called cart. And then what you can do is you can go to dropship orders, and then you will see all of the dropship orders that you just added to your cart in here. And then all you need to do is go and choose all of those orders, and then you can simply click on submit. So it will show you the shipping and product costs and the total amount for all of your orders. Once you hit submit, then the order will be submitted, and all of these orders will be fulfilled by CJ Dropshipping. So all of the different products will be sent out to all of your customers from eBay. Then you simply need to wait a few days to get the tracking numbers. And once you have the tracking numbers, you will go back into your eBay seller hub. You will find the order, and then where you see purchase postage label, you're going to go and click on this little arrow, and you can click on add tracking number. From here, you simply need to enter in the tracking number that you get from CJ Dropshipping and enter in the name of the courier. Now to get your tracking numbers, you're going to go under the orders tab, and you can click on orders tracking. You'll get the tracking number. Then, like I said, you'll enter that in here, you'll enter in the name of the courier, and then you can click on save and continue. Then all you need to do is again click this arrow and just click on mark as dispatched, and then that is your order done. Once the customer receives the order, they can leave a review on your eBay store. It works exactly the same with Alibaba. So with Alibaba, you can click on my orders. You'll see all of your synced orders from your eBay store. Again, you can choose the shipping method. Then you just need to purchase the product through Alibaba.com, and then once you get the tracking numbers from Alibaba, which is usually given to you by the supplier, you can come in here again, click on the arrow, click on add tracking number. enter in the tracking number, add the name of the courier, and then click mark as dispatched. And that is how you can fulfill your orders when you are dropshipping on eBay. Now, the last thing I do want to mention is if you get your eBay account suspended or banned, which can happen even if you've just started a fresh account. So you might get an email saying, we wanted to let you know that you have been temporarily restricted from selling and buying on eBay with some concerns about your account. So there you're going to click on help and contact, and it's going to take you to the eBay contact page, and then you can speak to them on the phone, or they'll send you another email. Now, the second email that they send you is going to ask for your proof of address and your proof of name. So you have to upload your driver's license and maybe a bank statement or a utility bill. So do this, and then it's going to say for the second thing that you need to upload is the proof that the items you listed are in your possession. Now, if this happens, what you can do is just go to one of your local charity shops and just purchase an item similar to the one that you planned on listing. So if it was a men's jacket, just go and buy a cheap men's jacket from a charity shop, and then you can go and upload that receipt as the proof that you have the item. Or you can even go and buy an item on another site like Etsy and then get the receipt from Etsy and upload this, and this will show that you have a proof of an item. They just want to see that you're not a 100% dropshipper. Like I said, dropshipping is allowed, but eBay is a bit strange, and they have some weird policies around banning accounts for no reason, and they don't even let you know the reason why. So just if you're going to upload something, purchase something and upload the receipt to show that you have an item to sell, and then they'll restrict your account or unban your account, and then you can go and continue listing products and dropshipping products. So that is what you're going to do. They might ask you some follow-up questions. So there might be another email, or they might ask you this on the phone when you ring them. So firstly, they're going to ask you what items are you planning on selling on eBay. Just tell them the items you plan on selling. So if it's men's clothing or women's clothing or consumer electronics, whatever it is, they'll ask you, are you selling personal stuff or from a supplier? You can say a mixture of both. If they ask you which supplier, don't mention any suppliers from China. Don't say Alibaba, don't say CJ Dropshipping, don't say AliExpress, anything like that. Just say a local supplier near me, because eBay prefers when you are using local suppliers. So just say a local supplier near me. You could say a vintage wholesaler if it's clothing or something like that. They're going to say, where do you source your items from? Just say in this country, in the country that you're in. So for example, for me, if they ask me the question, I say I'll source it from the UK. Then they're going to ask you what your estimated time of delivery is and what delivery you actually plan on using. Just say around 4 to 7 days, and just talk about some local delivery couriers that you can use. So for me, I would say Royal Mail, FedEx, DHL, things like that. So just mention that. Then they're going to say, how many items do you plan on listing? You can just say 20 per month. They don't really want people on the platform listing hundreds of products for some reason, especially as a new seller. So just say you plan on listing around 20 items per month. And then they're going to say, how do you plan on paying for the fees? You can just say with the bank account that I've already connected to my eBay account. So because we already connected that bank account in the beginning of the tutorial, they can see that, which shows that you have a valid payment method on your account, and that makes you more trustworthy, and it means that they're more likely to lift the restrictions. So just keep it a little bit ambiguous when they ask you these questions. Don't go into too many details. Do not mention China and do not mention dropshipping. You can say you're selling items that you have that are sourced from your country, and that means that you're less likely to get completely banned, and the restrictions are more likely to be lifted from your account. And one last thing to mention is you might get an email, or even on the phone, they might say your account has been banned forever, indefinitely, and all of the accounts associated with this account. Well, actually, that's not always the case. It really depends on the person you speak to, because I've had my accounts banned permanently, and I've managed to actually ring up. I keep ringing them, and eventually I've got through to somebody, and I've managed to get them unbanned, because eBay never gives you a reason when they ban your account, which is super frustrating. So you can't ring up and say, oh, I've changed this now, can you unban my account? So when you do ring them up, this is another tip. When you ring them up, act completely oblivious that your account has been banned. So just ring up and say, oh, I've got an email saying there are some restrictions on my account. I was just wondering how these could be lifted. And then usually they'll go through the questions again with you, and if they feel like you've answered them correctly, they can actually lift the restrictions. So even though they say your account is banned forever, we can't let you know why, and we can't overturn this decision, they will say that to you. But don't give up. Keep ringing up and keep going through the questions. And like I say, just act oblivious, like you don't know that your account was banned forever. No one even told you that. You're just ringing up to try and lift the restrictions. And when you do this, they sometimes can actually do it. I've had my accounts unbanned before just from doing this. So what you would want to do is you can just head over to the eBay homepage, scroll all the way down to the bottom. You will see contact us. Then you can click on selling. When you click on selling, click on list an item. And then when you click on this, there will be an option to either request a call from eBay where they actually phone you and you can discuss the restrictions or the ban, or you can speak to a moderator through an online chat. And this is the easiest way to get the restrictions lifted or to get the ban overturned. But like I say, don't give up. Don't think just because they've said you're banned forever that you can't overturn it. You can just keep ringing up and eventually you can get through to someone who will lift the restrictions for you. So that is how you can start eBay dropshipping and start making some money online using eBay. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions about eBay dropshipping, make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Make sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you have taken value from the video, and make sure to subscribe for more e-commerce and dropshipping content, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.